not gonna lie, this is probably the weirdest video I've ever filmed, but I'm kind of digging it right now. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I am gonna just address the elephant in the room. I am indeed in bed and I'm wearing pajamas, and that was because today I really wanted to do a video talking about a subject that I have struggled with for many years, and it's something that I think a lot of people can relate to, and it's on staying positive when you're sick. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this isn't entirely authentic to how I would be if I was sick, because I am wearing a full face of makeup, and to be honest, for me personally, I just like to leave my skin to breathe when I'm ill. I like putting on a nice face mask and treating myself to some good skincare, and that's usually it for me. But I have been filming other videos today, and I thought that I would hop into bed and discuss sickness and positivity with you over a nice hot cup of tea, although it is a little bit more lukewarm now since I made it, because, you know, setting up the tripod and whatevs, but we're going to pretend like it's a nice hot cup of tea and not actually a lukewarm cup of tea like it is now, which is quite disappointing. The reason I wanted to talk to you about this today is because, like I said, I have struggled with this for many years, and it's something that I think I've now come to grips with and I've now come to understand in myself. So if you followed me here on YouTube for quite some time, or my blog, or other social media, which will all be linked down below as usual, by the way, the cheeky plug, then you all know that I've lived with a rare condition called Septo Optic Dysplasia, or SOD for short. The condition affects my pituitary gland, it also affects my endocrine system. It's also the reason why I have severe sight loss, and probably one of the massive things that my condition impacts is my immune system and my blood sugar levels, because my body doesn't make up enough cortisol, which is a vital hormone that regulates your blood sugar, and my body does not make up enough cortisol, so I'm on replacement therapy for that, as well as my thyroid gland as well, which also impacts on your immune system. I also take thyroxine for that, and I also take growth hormone because of my sugar levels as well, because growth hormone actually does help you regulate your sugar levels as well as other things. I have a lot to contend with in terms of my condition, and it's not always stable. There are times where it can fluctuate. There are days where I feel great and I can go out and do my thing. There are other days where I literally just want to sit in bed and watch Netflix, or I want to do something in bed and I just want to recuperate and recover, because my immune system is so low that I will probably pick up any illness. If you've got an illness and you stand next to me, I'll probably pick it up, because I have got a really low immune system because of my condition. But as well as that, my blood sugar levels always fluctuate. So at night, when I'm not awake and able to regulate my blood sugar levels, i.e. eat things, I will get low blood sugar, and then sometimes it will get so bad that I'll wake up in the middle of the night having a full-blown hypo attack, or I'll get up in the morning and I'll feel like I've had a really bad hypo attack in the middle of the night, and I'll feel absolutely awful. And when those situations occur, I will just want to stay in bed. I won't want to get out of bed. I will just want to have a quiet day and try and recuperate and let my body adjust again and repair some of the damage that's been done. As I've got older, my immune system has got a bit more stronger. When I was little, I used to be in hospital most of the time. I was pretty much in hospital every single month because of my condition. Now, as I've got older, I have learnt to regulate it better. I'm better at taking my medication and managing my health, so it's not quite as bad as it used to be, but there are a lot of days that I will have sick days and I won't want to get out of bed. And when I was younger, I used to really struggle with staying positive, because I would be in bed for considerable amounts of time, not being able to get out and out of the house and do things, and sometimes it used to make me feel a little bit down and a little bit depressed. And in all fairness, there are still days where it does make me feel like that, but those days are few and far between, because I've learnt ways to be able to train myself to stay positive when I'm sick. And today I wanted to impart on you my pearls of wisdom and chat a little bit about positivity and sickness. And I also just want to put it out there that I don't want this video to in any way trivialise what people with sicknesses have to go through. I understand that every different sickness and illness and disability is very different. Every person's diagnosis is different. Every person feels differently about their illness and their disability. But for me personally, I feel like a better way of being able to manage my illness and be able to stay on a positive track is to be able to stay positive even when I'm sick. For me personally, I find that with my illness, I more often than not burn the candle at both ends, and by this I mean I will do so much and try and cram so much into a short space of time that I will get ill. I have had so many occasions in the past where I have recovered from an illness and I'll be like, right, I've missed all this time out, so I'm going to try and cram all this stuff into one short space of time. So I'm going to go to this place, I'm going to do this, I'm going to have this meeting, I'm going to try and make this happen, I'm going to do all these things, because I feel like I'm trying to overcompensate for the fact that I haven't been able to do so much amount of stuff because I was ill. And I think for me it's like a guilt thing, or it's like a perfectionist thing, because I am a perfectionist and I feel like if I don't do this, I'm not measuring up, or I'm letting my disability in quote unquote win. For me, I didn't want to feel like this because I don't want to feel like I'm fighting against my disability, because it's part of me. I mean, some people might be able to do that, they might be able to have that week off and then get straight back up on the saddle and go about their business like they usually do. But for me, I know that doesn't work, I know I can't do that. I'll just have to gradually get myself back into a routine of doing things. And of course, I totally understand that making plans, making arrangements, making plans to do things is great because it gets you motivated. But for me personally, I've learnt to take each day as it comes. So when I'm well enough again, I will perhaps go out and do something if on that day I'm feeling up to it. So I might go and take a trip to London and see a exhibition, or I might go and book myself a little beauty treatment, or I might go for a walk with my guide dog, or I might go and see some friends. But I don't necessarily plan things for when I'm going to be well. I don't kind of burn myself out. I'll just wait to see how I feel, just because I feel like for me, if I can't do something because of my illness, I'm going to make myself feel worse and I'm going to beat myself up about it because I've not been well enough to be able to do it, and I just don't tend to find, for me, that works. So I personally just take things slowly. But the point of life is to enjoy yourself. Find things that you do enjoy, that you can do when you're sick, just because it makes things better, so you don't feel like you're wasting time or that you're not doing anything. Make those sick days productive, or make them enjoyable if you can. Of course, like I said, every disability is different, and sometimes, for example, I get migraines because of my sight loss, and I would usually do things like watch a Netflix show or do a little bit of writing, and on those days where I know that I won't be able to do that, I will literally turn off all social media and just have some sleep, or I might even listen to an audiobook if I feel like I can do that. It just depends on how I feel and also how you feel as well. Something else that I also tend to struggle with is social media. Now, it very much verges in two ways. So on the one hand, I love being on social media when I'm sick because I can socialise with people, I can talk to people, I can keep that rapport and that connection with the outside world, and I don't feel like I'm losing touch because of my illness. And I think for me it's important to be able to stay clued up and to, you know, be able to still read news articles and chat to my friends and see funny cat videos on Facebook and do all the things that I enjoy. But at the same token, there are some times where I feel like being on social media is going to make me feel worse, especially if I am not able to do certain things and I'm seeing other people do things. It's just going to make me feel a little bit more down or a little bit more depressed. And there might also be times where social media is getting a little bit negative and I just want to distance myself from it just because I want to be in a positive mind frame. For me personally, I tend to verge towards the former. I tend to want to be on social media because I want to be with my friends. I want to be able to still talk to my friends and do things, and to be able to write my blogs and still keep that productivity going and be able to have conversations with people and just to be more social. And I think social media is an amazing tool because it allows people who might have an illness or a disability, who can't get out for certain reasons because of their illness for that particular time or whatever reason, to be able to still have a profile, to still be able to have their voice heard and to socialise with people and to meet people. And for that reason, I think social media is an incredible tool. There's something else that I really have found helpful through the times when I've been sick is to stay productive. Now, of course, this is very much dependent on your illness and your diagnosis and how you feel within yourself. But for me, I have found that being able to do things and being able to, you know, carry on with things that I love is really important, or to even use that time productively to learn a new skill, for example, and do something productive with that time if you can, so you don't feel like you're wasting that time. But of course, taking off time for sickness is about recovering. That is the end goal. You want to recover, or you want to at least get to a point where you feel better in yourself, or to be able to stabilise your disability. So that is the main goal of when you are sick. But if you want to use that time productively, personally for me, I find doing things that you love with that, or even just finding new skills, is fantastic. So for example, for me, when I was really sick, when I was doing my GCSEs and also my A-levels, I found that my skills really came to the floor, and I learned that I was an autodidact. An autodidact is someone who is self-taught and who can teach themselves, because I would have long bouts of time, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks in some cases, where I wouldn't be in school and I wouldn't be in the classroom. So it got to a point where I'd say to my teachers, can you just send me the work via email, and I would just do it at home and I would teach myself. And I actually really progressed like this because I was teaching myself how to do certain things, and I actually came out of it with really good grades that I was really happy with, and also my school really happy with as well. But it really made me laugh because when I was doing my GCSEs, a few of my teachers who didn't know me very well, and they were new teachers, when I went to parents' evening, they predicted me grades like E's and things like D's, because they said, you're having so much time off, we don't know whether you're going to be able to get this grade because of the amount of time and the absences you have off. But for one of those particular courses, which I was predicted an E, I got an A star. So there you go. You can't judge someone based on their disability about what they're going to achieve. So whether you want to use that time to learn a new language, or to learn how to edit videos, or to practice a musical instrument, or to enlist in an online course and learn a new skill, then do that. But equally, if you literally just want to sit down in your bed, watch Netflix, or listen to an audiobook, or just go on YouTube and binge watch lots of funny animal videos, then you do. That is completely up to you, and I am the last person who would judge you for that, because there's been those who have done that too. Having a disability or being sick can actually lead you to discover your hidden strengths that you didn't even know you had, and not even just skills but also emotionally, spiritually, and as a person as well. You really learn a lot about yourself, and you spend a lot of time with yourself reflecting and spending time to really think about yourself and your life choices. And actually, I think you really do learn a lot about yourself as a person when you're sick. Another thing that I think is paramount when it comes to staying positive when I'm sick is self-care. Now, I think self-care means different things to different people. So whether that's about cooking your favourite meal and having a hot bubble bath and sitting down to read a book and taking some quiet time out for yourself, whether that means putting a face mask on and really pampering yourself and doing your nails, whether that's about doing some good skincare, whether that's about putting on some makeup, that's absolutely fine. But I think it all comes down to making yourself feel better in yourself, but also outside as well. So doing things that make you feel better in yourself. And for me, it's all about doing things to make myself feel better and to feel better within myself. And for me, a lot of the time that is baths, nice food, skincare, and just looking after myself and just making myself feel a little bit better. And I do things like I'll steam my face, I will manicure my nails, I will sort my cuticles out, I will put on a sheet face mask, I will have a Lush bath with some products. And I think those little things, those little treats that I do every day when I'm sick, really just make me feel a little bit better within myself, and just help me to feel more positive about myself and to just put myself into a better mind frame. When I was younger, I used to always treat my disability like I was in a massive tug of war with it, and I was trying to grapple for ownership of my life and my autonomy, and I used to really feel like I was fighting against it, and I was having a massive tug of war with it to try and claim ownership of myself. And now I don't do that, and I just accept there are going to be those days where I'm not very well, and I just think to myself, right, well, what can I do today to make my day more positive? And I just put myself into that situation. I never look at it on a down note. I used to a lot when I was younger. I used to almost grieve for that day that I felt like I'd lost because I couldn't go out and do the things I wanted to do because of my illness. And I used to have a bit of a grieving process that I'd lost out this time, that I felt like my illness had claimed. But I don't do this anymore. I just learn to take each day as it comes and to try and do things each day to make myself feel positive. And in life, we all get sick and we all need to take time out for ourselves. That's why I have tried so hard over the last few years to really make myself feel positive about my illness and when I have to have time off because of my sickness. And I just try and stay in that positive bubble, if you will. I try and stay in that positive frame of mind, because for me, it's the best way to be when I have to take that time off for myself for my illness, because then I can get back into things at my own pace. I want to stay positive in my life, and for me, positivity has been one of the best things to helping me live with my disability. So that's it for today's video today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this experience actually. I've never done a video like this, but if you want me to do more videos like this, then let me know in the comments below, because we could even start a little bit of a series, you know. It could literally just be like a day where we have a massive pyjama party. I mean, it's a pyjama party for one here, but you could all put your pyjamas on and come and join me. Come and join Fashioneyesta and have a good old pyjama party. And I mean, if this video was nothing more than an excuse for you to go and get your pyjamas on because you saw me and you have pyjama envy, then I'm not judging. That's completely fine by me. So thank you so much for watching this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know in the comments how you stay positive when you're ill. What are the things that you like to do when you're not feeling at your best, and what do you do to make yourself feel a little bit more positive? Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you're new as well. Don't forget to follow me on my other social links, including Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and my blog as well, all will be linked down below, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!